What's going on, guys? FearSpartans here. In today's video, we're going to be going through all the weapons, perks, and equipment in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The created class system has changed. They've gotten rid of the Pick 10 system, and they've pretty much gone back to the Call of Duty 4 system, where you have a primary, a secondary, you have the 3 perk tiers, and you get 1 perk from each tier, and then also a primary lethal equipment and a tactical equipment. So they've kind of reduced the customization a little bit, but for primary and secondary weapons you get 5 attachments on each, so that is pretty nice. Definitely did not have that in Call of Duty 4. You only got to pick like 1 attachment in that game, so having 5 on both your primary and your secondary is going to be pretty nice. And you don't even have to have a perk or anything. Every class is guaranteed to have 5 attachments on them. And there's so many attachments to choose from. There's going to be like a minimum of like 30 attachments to choose from on any given weapon, and up to like 60 on any given weapon, which is kind of crazy for Call of Duty to have that much customization for attachments. So that's pretty nice. But let's get right into the weapons that we know of so far. So there are 15 guns right now that we know of so far. So there are 5 assault rifles, the M13, the FR556, the M4A1, very classic, the AK-47, obviously. You couldn't have a Modern Warfare game without the AK-47. And then we have the Odin. Moving on to SMGs, there are currently 3. The MP5, from the alpha build that was in the multiplayer reveal, I hear is very good, so hopefully they don't nerf that before the beta, because I really want to use a very powerful MP5. Then there's also the MP7, which was my baby back in Modern Warfare 3, so I'm hoping that's pretty good as well. And then we also have an AUG, which is pretty nice. Shotguns, there are 2 shotguns, the Model 680 and the 725. Then we have 2 LMGs, the M91 and the L86A2, and then there's so far only 1 sniper, which is kind of surprising. The AX50, which I heard was not the best, honestly, in the alpha build, but we'll just have to wait and see if they kind of make sniping a little bit easier. And there's just so many attachments that it's going to be hard to find the right attachments to make the gun actually perform better. So moving on to the perks. In perk 1 tier, we have double time, which triples the duration of super sprint and fully refreshes super sprint on kills. So super sprint is basically a short duration that you can have to have a super fast, like Usain Bolt like speed. Sprint is unlimited, the basic sprint, but your super sprint is limited in this game, so you can't be Usain Bolt around the whole map like you can in Black Ops 4, basically. But you will be able to have sprint at all times, just that super sprint for the double time perk will be increased. The next perk is EOD, and this is basically Flak Jacket. So it takes reduced damage from non-kill streak explosives and fire, and you can also hack enemy claymores, proximity mines, and C4. So that sounds kind of overpowered at this point, so I wouldn't be surprised if that gets nerfed and some of those hacking abilities get switched to a different perk, probably in the perk 3 tier system, because the perk 3 tier perks, once we get to them, are a lot weaker than perk 1 and perk 2. The next one is Scavenger. You guys already know what that is. Tracker. Enemies leave behind trails and death marks, but on top of that, there's also increased crouch movement speed. So that's basically Tracker and Skulker combined into one. Then the last perk, 1 perk, is Tune Up, which is an increase the charge or rate of field upgrades, which I didn't go into this, but each class you'll be able to choose a field upgrade. Field upgrades are basically specialist abilities, almost, kind of, sort of, not really. I don't think these are going to really affect the gameplay too much, not nearly as much as specialist abilities did back in like Black Ops 3. So I'm not really too worried about these, although there is a stopping power rounds field upgrade, which I'm kind of nervous about that being a little bit overpowered, but we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think they're going to be a huge influence on the game. I think choosing the right attachments is going to be a much bigger influence. So moving on to perk 2, we have Ghost, which is probably going to be the most used perk in the game. Undetectable by UAVs, radar drones, heartbeat sensors, and high alert. And you also hide the death markers of enemies you kill. I wouldn't be surprised to see that get removed, the hiding death marks. whenever the beta or even the full game comes out. That seems kind of overpowered because Ghost is already going to be the most used perk. The next one is Hardline, so your kill streaks cost one less kill, which is pretty nice. So that means you can get a personal UAV by just getting 2 kills, and you can get a team UAV by getting 3 kills. Next up is kill chain. So this is if you want your streaks to be stackable, so your 5 kill streak can earn you your 6 and 7 kill streak by getting kill streak kills. This is the perk you're going to want to use if you're trying to get the high tier streaks. This is going to be very helpful. I mean, you'll miss out on using Ghost and Hardline, but yeah, this is what I'm going to be using when I'm going for the high streaks. Now, when I'm going for a nuke, I probably won't use this because the nuke is probably going to end up being like a gun streak, so stacking kill streak kills won't really matter. But whenever I'm trying to get the Juggernaut or the gunship or the chopper gunner, that's probably the go-to perk to use. Overkill, carry 2 primary weapons. Kind of surprised they brought that back. I don't really know why they do that in Call of Duty still. Like, how many people really want 2 primary weapons when it kind of reduces your options on other stuff? I guess that was back in the Pick 10 system though. Now that we have overkill in this game, you could have a 5 attachment sniper, and then you could also have like a 5 attachment AR. That'd be pretty nice to have. Next is restock and recharge equipment over 30 seconds. So that's the last perk 2 perk. So moving on to perk 3, we have amped, which is faster weapon swap and rocket launcher reload speed. Battle hardened, reduce the strength of enemy flash, stun, and EMP effects. So EMP effects, I don't know if that's like an EMP grenade or if that's like some counter UAV effects, because the counter UAV in this game kind of almost seems like a mini EMP. So I have to exactly see how well that is, but that's basically like tac mask. So I'm probably going to be using that one. Cold-blooded, undetectable by AI targeting systems and thermal optics, and also immune to snapshot grenades, which we'll get to here in a bit. High alert, your vision pulses when enemies outside of your view see you. So this is kind of like the paranoia perk from the blackout mode. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I think that would be a really good perk to use, and maybe like one of the larger 20v20, or if we get that 50v50 ground war mode, that might be a pretty decent perk to use because you're probably going to be getting targeted all the time. Next up is shrapnel. So you spawn with an extra piece of lethal equipment, and your explosive damage also delays the enemy health regen, which I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I guess that's kind of like a mini danger close right there. Next, the last one is spotter, and you can see enemy equipment, field upgrades, and kill streaks through walls. You can mark them for your team by looking and aiming down sights at them. So that's it for all the perks. As I said, the perk 3 tier is kind of weak, and perk 2 Ghost is just going to completely dominate, but Hardline and Kill Chain will definitely be useful from time to time. In perk 1, I'm definitely going to be using EOD or Scavenger. I can already tell them. Obviously, they're probably going to make some changes, but the core elements of a lot of these perks aren't going to really change too much. And so let's get into the equipment. Starting off with the lethal, we have the frag grenade, Semtex, the Molotov, Claymore, throwing knife, C4, a thermite grenade, and a proximity mine, which is just basically a bouncing Betty. One of my concerns is kind of the equipment in this game. There seems to be quite a bit, and you're guaranteed one on each class. It's not like the Pick 10 system where a lot of people don't even run equipment. So I'm a bit nervous about the equipment being a little bit overpowered. But as long as there's no IEDs like in Call of Duty Ghosts, I think we should be fine. Next up, for the tactical equipment, we have a flash grenade, a smoke grenade, a stun grenade. We have Stim, which is basically just the manual health regen that we have in Black Ops 4. You get a couple of those per life, or I don't know if it's per life, but like per 30 seconds or whatever. You'll have a couple stims to use. Then we have a decoy grenade, counter intel grenade that stimulates fake gunfire and radar signatures that confuses the enemy. Now, I think we had this back in like Black Ops 1. I forget exactly what it was called back then, but kind of surprising to see that return. It is honestly a useless tactical equipment. It's kind of just more of a troll equipment. Next up, we have the gas grenade, explodes on impact with the ground, releasing a lingering cloud of tear gas that causes slowed movement, blurred vision, and coughing. Snapshot grenade provides a momentary glimpse of enemies within the blast radius. Now, the thing about this is this will show enemies through walls. So if you like throw it over a wall and it hits someone, it will target them, and you'll be able to see that through the wall, which is kind of ridiculous, kind of OP, honestly. Kind of nervous about that one. And then the heartbeat sensor is returning. Now this is a tactical, so you won't be able to just like have it as an attachment on your gun. So you'll just have to use it as a tactical equipment. And so that's it for the equipment. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. I kind of can already kind of see my classes lining up here a little bit. I'm looking forward to trying out the MP5 and MP7 for sure in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So let me know what you guys are looking forward to. The game honestly kind of looks a little bit like Battlefield to me, but I'm kind of excited to try the game out in the beta. So that's it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.